Okay, hey you guys, and welcome back to another video. A while ago, I had mentioned doing a favorites like pen and marker, like highlighter video for you guys, and we're finally doing that today. It has taken me a lot of time to figure out exactly what I wanted to incorporate into this video. I recently did like a whole, not a whole overhaul, but like a really big overhaul of my planning and journaling desk space. And I do plan on doing a new tour of that, like a new tour video of my space for you guys. So stay tuned. That video will be coming sometime in the near future. I'm just finishing up a few things with the space. It's almost done. But I just want to get a couple more things taken care of before I get that video out to you. You'll have to excuse my voice today. I feel like I'm going in and out of borderline getting sick. I feel like I get there and then it goes away and I'm better, and then it's just kind of been an ongoing thing for the past week and a half now. But we're gonna get through this video together with hopefully no issues. As you can see here in front of me, I have a ton of different things here. I'm gonna talk really in depth about the pens themselves that I use and what I use which pens for. So that's going to be like the most detailed part of this video. So we're going to get into that in a second. And then after that, I'm going to show you all the different markers / highlighters that I use in my planners, whether it's for coloring or it's for highlighting, whatever I use it for. Maybe it's for making like, checklists and bullet points and things like that. Whatever I use them for, calligraphy, I will show you guys those as well. I don't think I'm going to, there is one thing here that I will talk about that I do a lot with my coloring, and I might bring in and show you guys one other thing on top of that as like a little extra bonus at the end. But I'm still working on that collection, so we'll see. So like I said, as you can see, there's a ton of stuff here in front of me. We've got a big box of markers underneath here. We've got my pens, and then I've got some Tombows, some Amazon things, Crayolas, mile liners, and then there's some extra things in these two pouches that I'm gonna go through with you guys. We're gonna do pens first and talk about those in depth because I think this is like the most important part of this entire video, and then we'll talk about everything else afterwards. Okay, so as you guys can see here in front of me, I have pens, and it really has taken me quite a few years to figure out what I really love, what types of pens I like for which planners and journal spaces, and what pens I like to use for like just regular writing and then for like outlining. It's a very specific art for me. I don't know what, I'm very much a writer, and it's very important to me what pens I use. There is one pen that isn't here that I do love to use for certain types of stickers. So I will put a photo of that up now, and that is the Micro Perm 05. This is actually, in my opinion, way better than the Sharpie pen. It doesn't smudge, it doesn't bleed, it's nice and thick, and you can write it on any type of material sticker. So especially those really vibrant, thick vinyl type stickers. I have used those kits in the past. Also ones that have like a very smooth finish on top of them. These are great for those as well. And I actually just finished my last one, so I have to go and get more. I was going to order them off of Amazon, but Amazon doesn't have a set with just the one size that I like. It was like a pack of different sizes, and I just want to get all of them the same size because it's what I basically use for outlining and sticker boxes. So in my sticker boxes, I tend to write a little bit more fun, a little bit more bold, unless it's like, something basic and simple like do laundry today. But if it's like an appointment or a special outing or adventure that we're doing that day, I really like those to stand out, and that's why I like the thicker size. You can get this in a 0.3, like an 03 or an 02. I'm sorry, it's one of the two. And I do like that one as well. However, it doesn't suit the purpose of what I use them for specifically. I just like to get them in the 05. So you can get these at Michael's. And like I said, you can order them off Amazon, but they don't have it in a set with just the one size. It's like different sizes. So if you want them in different sizes, then that might be a good thing for you. You can get those on Amazon. Otherwise, I would suggest going to Michael's. They have these there that you can buy individually and you can pick which sizes you want. So that is the micro perm. Now let's move on to what we have here in front of us. And in this pouch, this is a pouch I got from Bando, but inside this pouch, I have all of my white pens. So I use these for outlining with my coloring. I use them for whiting out. And then sometimes if I'm using like black paper, I'll use these for those as well. So I have a few different kinds of white pens here. Obviously you can see I love the white jelly rolls. They're probably my favorite. I do have one other one that I really like too. Normally I use the 10. One thing I really love about the jelly rolls is they put the size of the pen right here on the little cap, except for that one. This one's a lot older, I think, but that one's an 08, it says it right there. But here you go. This one says 8, this one says 10. This one says 10, this one says 5, and this is an 8 as well. So my favorite sizes are the 10 and the 8s. They are thicker, so they cover more. And the thicker ones are actually really great for coloring. So when you're doing like your whiting out and your coloring and outlining, I love to use the 8 and the 10s for that. Then the 5 is actually what I use if I'm writing in like a black paper, like on a blackout paper. I don't use it very often though. Like I said, my favorites are the size 10 and the size 8s. Just to give you guys an example. So I don't have my black paper here in front of me. It's in the other room. So we're going to go with this dark purple. So this is a 10 jelly roll. And you can see it's nice and solid and white. It colors in really nice. It's probably my favorite one. The 10 is probably my favorite. Then we can move down to 8. This one is still pretty thick, but you do kind of have to, actually this one might be running out, but you do kind of have to color it in layers. So you can see it kind of creates a little bit of a streakiness. Hopefully you guys can see that difference. So you kind of have to let it dry and then you can go over it again, but it has to fully dry. That's the one thing about the jelly rolls is they take a little while to dry. Now let me show you how thin the 5 is and why I would not recommend coloring with it. So this is the 05. And as you can see, it writes really nice. It's great for just regular penmanship. But if you want to go and color with it, it's very thin. And you would definitely need a lot more layering with it. So the 10, again, the 10 is my favorite for whiting out and coloring. The 8 you can white out in 2. However, you would have to do it a couple of times and you have to wait for it to dry. And then the 5 is great for just like writing. So I wanted to show you guys the difference there with those. Again, jelly roll is probably my favorite for the whiting out. Then the other 2 pens that I've tried in the past is the Zebra Sarasa 0.5. And this is the Uniball Signo Broad White. It's a Uniball pen. I actually don't know the size of this one, unfortunately, but it works really well. I have used this one a lot in the past for coloring and whiting out as well. I do think that it dries a lot quicker than the jelly roll. So you can kind of like color and keep going over it without having to worry about it smudging or streaking. That is one thing that I do really love about this. I actually use the Uniball quite a bit for labeling my sticker books and also for coloring. The Sarasa I bought on a whim, and the one thing that is really bugging me about the Sarasas lately, you can see it right here, is they keep drying out really fast. When I am able to get it to work, it's really nice, but like you can see, like it's completely dried out. It dries out so quickly. I don't even know if I can recommend it anymore. It's just not working right. The reason why I was using this, and I do like it, is it's kind of like a muted white. It's almost like a creamy white color. Maybe if it was newer and it wasn't as old of a pen, maybe it would work better. I really wanted to show you guys the shade of white it is because that's why I kept it, but it's really hard right now because it's just not, it's drying out. So the Zebra Sarasa is more of a creamy, transparent white. So if that's the kind of look that you're going for. But my two favorite brands are the Uniball Signo, which is surprising because who would have thought Uniball would be a good brand, in the white. And then, of course, the Jelly Rolls, specifically the size 10 and size 8 for coloring and whiting out, and then the 0.5 for writing. I'm just going to actually throw this one out now because it's dead. So like I said, if you want more of a creamy, milky white color that's a little bit more transparent, good for writing on black paper specifically, then you can go ahead and give the Sarasa a try, but they do dry out very quickly. So those are the white pens that I really like to use in my coloring and in my planners when I'm doing different like whiting out and colored paper. All right, next we're going to talk about the Sharpie roller. So the Sharpie roller pen is one that I use for outlining. So if I'm in my planner and I am doing like, if I'm writing like Skylar's birthday in like a really pretty marker or highlighter, I a lot of times will go around that afterwards with a richer pen to kind of just outline the font and make it pop a little bit more. So for example, if I take this Crayola marker and I just want to write sky, and then we'll take the Sharpie Roller 5 and we outline around the word. This one is cursive, but it would look a little different if it wasn't cursive. You can see how cute it is. It makes it pop. It gives it a little bit more definition and almost like a three-dimensional type feel. And I like this one because it's bold without being super thick. So earlier we were talking about the Micro Perm 05 that I really love. That one is a lot thicker. This one is a 0.5, but it's thinner. So it still gives you that definition and that pop of black without being too thick or wide. This is my current go-to outlining pen, along with this one right here, which is my Lay pen. And this is the black one. And we'll just do another example. Now we'll just do my name. And this one you will see it's a little bit bolder. This is... Actually, I don't know. I thought it said it. I believe the new Lay pens say the size. This might be a 2, but you can see very clearly that it's very similar to the Sharpie, just ever so slightly a little bit more bold. Not much, but enough, I feel like, to see a difference. So again, this one's thinner, a lot smoother to write with. This one's going to be a little bit thicker. You want to take your time a little bit more with it. And this one maybe stands out just ever so slightly more, but they're pretty much the same. So those are the two pens that I use for outlining. The Sharpie Roller 0.5 and then the Lay pen in black. Again, I don't know the size of this one, but I believe the newer ones now will have the sizing on them. So just keep that in mind. All right, now that we've gotten through talking about outlining and whiting out and things like that, let's get into my actual pens, okay? The ones that I use on a daily basis, filling out my journal and my planners. I have a few different ones here, as you can see. This little pouch I got from Simply Gilded, oh my gosh, forever ago. I use this as my current rotation. So right now I've been on a Lay pen kick, so I'm using my Lay pen for my outlining. We've got my Micron 02. We're going to talk about those. My Muji 0.38. We'll talk about this. My Ridetech 0.5. We'll also talk about those. And then a little extra one in here as well. Let's talk about my Muji and my Micron. So these are the two go-to pens for me, like all the time. I have rotated between these and other ones here and there. I have used the Staedtler pens. I'll show you those really quick, but it is not what I'm currently using. These are the Staedtler 0.3s. and this is what they look like. They write nice. What I don't like about them is like the feeling that I get when I'm writing with them. I don't know. It's just me. It's just my preference. It is a nice pen, but it is not my favorite. I feel like it's more of a muted black. That's one of the things that kind of bugs me about it. And then just the feeling of when I'm writing, it's a little awkward for me. So I stopped using those and I went to the Mujis. So these I buy off of Amazon. You can get them in a bigger pack, but I usually just buy the 3-pack. And my Muji 0.38 is what I use in my catch-all planner. I love, love, love this pen. Actually, let me use the other one because these are still capped off. When they come in, when you first order them, they have this like green or blue little covering. It's to protect the tip and the ink, and you just have to peel that off when you go to use them. And this is how they write. It's very thin. It writes super smooth, but it also, because I can spell, it also, to me, it's like, I love how thin it is, but even though it's thin, it still has a really good black pigmentation to it. I love it. This is the way that I like my plans to look. I don't want them thicker like this because, you know, I just want it to be really clean and clear and crisp in my catch-all. So this has been my go-to pen for probably a year and a half now. I love the Muji so much. Now let's talk about the Micron. I've started with the Micron pen. When I first started planning back in 2017, this is what I started using. I was using a different size though. I was using, was it the 0.3 or the 0.5? I can't remember, but I was using one that was a little bit bigger than this. And the one qualm that I had with Micron is they died so quickly. I use them so often, and so they would run out of ink really, really fast. And that's how I ended up discovering the Muji. Then I realized, okay, I like the thinner pen. Like I like a thinner pen in my classic and in my journal too sometimes, but mostly my classic. And then I came across the 2 and the 1. And they even have like a 0.5. It's like the tiniest thing ever. That one was way too small. And I ended up falling in love with the O2. And the Microns have it labeled on the top here and over here on the side. And this is waterproof and fade proof. So this is really nice. This is not to be confused with the Micro Perm. That one is different. This is the Pigma Micron. Okay. And I'm going to show you how this baby writes. This is what the tip looks like, super small. And this is the Micron O2 catch-all. And as you can see, it's very close. Let's like cover this up for a minute. It's very close to my Muji. So the one reason why I love my Muji over the Micron is the pigmentation. It's very thin, it writes super smooth, but I'm still getting that crisp black color. The Micron is a little bit more faded, kind of like the Staedtler, but it still writes really nice and it's still super clean. So these are my 2 go-to pens for my catch-all planner. Sometimes I will use the Micron. Micron's kind of like, the Micron is kind of like what I use for everything. So if I can't find the pen that I'm using in my journal currently, I'll go grab this. My Muji, I usually save specifically for my catch-all. So this is like my everything pen, honestly. And that's why I like to have so many of them on hand. And it's been my tried and true. Like, even though they die kind of quick, I've been using them since the start and I'm still using them today after, what is that, 7 years, 8 years. So that's when you know a product is really, really good. So again, my Muji and my Micron are my 2 catch-all pens. My Micron is kind of like my everything pen on top of it, but those are my definite favorites. I will link the Muji and the Micron pens down below. They're in my Amazon storefront, my Amazon favorites. I don't have a storefront yet, but my Amazon favorites, you can find them there as well. But I will link them down below for you guys. So if you're interested, you can go and buy those. Now let's talk about Rytec. So Rytec, I recently discovered about a year or so ago. I love the way that these pens feel. They're so nice. They're so pretty and feminine. This is the 0.5. It came in like a pack of all different colors. And this is what I use for my journal. So journal. These probably are the smoothest writing pens I own. It's so smooth. I can write super fast with it. And they are so bold. It really is a beautiful pen. And in my opinion, this is basically the Muji pen, just a little bit thicker. It's like a step up from that Staedtler pen that I showed you guys earlier. I absolutely love the Rytec pens for journaling. And let me tell you why. So yes, my favorite pen is the Muji 0.38. That's my all-time favorite pen. However, when I'm journaling, I am either doing it like super early in the morning to get it done and bang it out, or I'm doing it late at night and I'm exhausted and I'm just like, my thinking process is gone for the day. And I need a pen that's just going to let me go in and do what I need to do fast and be done with it. This pen is so smooth and so quick. Like sometimes you guys, when I'm writing with this pen, I'm thinking in my brain what I want to write in my journal prompt, and the pen is moving quicker than my thoughts are. It's kind of crazy. It's just so smooth and so fast. When you're writing, you're literally just flowing. I actually love using my Rytec for when I'm writing in my poetry journal too, because if I get an idea and my brain is going really, really fast, I need a pen that can keep up, that isn't going to force me to slow down. And this is definitely it. I'm going to link these down below for you as well. I got these off Amazon. Again, it's the Rytec 0.5. And there's all different colorways in these. But I'll link the one that I bought if you like this color palette. It's like a pastel ombre color palette. And I love it. I love it so much. This is definitely my journal pen. It's what I use all the time. Finally, let's talk about the other one that's in here. So this is actually a pen that I picked up in New Hampshire. It's a Taylor Swift themed pen. And when I first bought it, I was like, oh, this will be great for like quick writing. Like if I need to make like a quick note, if I'm on the phone with the doctor's office and I'm jotting down an appointment, something quick and fast for my Post-its, right? No idea what kind of pen it is. No idea what size it is. Nothing. Okay. I bought it because it was cute. Well, this one actually writes a lot like the Rytec. And it is actually the boldest pen I have. You can see how bold and black it is compared to the Muji and compared to the Rytec one. It's the most pigmented out of all the pens I have, and that's why I love it. Super sad because once it's all gone, that's it. Like I'd have to travel all the way back up to New Hampshire to buy another one. But right now it's in my current rotation and I just love the color of it. Again, this is the pen that I kind of grabbed just to write random things down in, but it's also a backup to my journaling too, because it's close enough to my Rytec, like the size, and it also has that super easy flow, like that writing flow, not as easy as the Rytec, but close. And then it also is more pigmented than the Muji or the Micron because I do like my journal to be a little bit more pigmented. So it's kind of like my journal backup as well as just my grab and go pen, so to speak. So those 5 pens are my current go-tos. They are my main pens right now. And if I ever change it up, the change will go into this and I just use them. I just keep them in this little holder so that way like I can just go in and grab it every time I go to sit down to plan or journal. Okay, let's talk markers / highlighters, etc. So I have like a combination of all different types. Like this isn't all that I own, but these are my main go-tos, my favorites. Okay. First, we're going to talk about what's in this pouch. These are my Kelly Creates calligraphy pens. I do not use these often at all. There's all different colors in here. However, If I'm using this, it's usually, okay, well, that's sad. I was going to show you guys my black Kelly Creates calligraphy pen, but I cannot find it. That's super sad. I have my Sharpie one, but I never use it. These are the Kelly Creates calligraphy, but they are actually these small brush ones, not the thick ones. And I'll show you guys what they do really quick and why I love them. So these are very thin. This is what they look like. They probably don't look like they do calligraphy. However, it's a very small, and don't come at me, I'm really bad at this. That's why I don't do it often. But it is a very small calligraphy writing. I am not a huge fan of thick calligraphy. So just to give you guys like a comparison, here is a Tombow. I love Tombows. These are a lot thicker. And these are going to give you a much bigger line. Again, I'm not very good at this, so don't come at me. You can see how thick those Tombows really are. And believe it or not, I don't use my Tombows for calligraphy, really. If I'm ever in the mood to do calligraphy, I'm reaching for my Kellys because they're nice and thin and they don't take up too much space. I love my Tombows for coloring and highlighting. So we'll talk about that more in a minute, but these are the Kelly Creates. I wish I knew where my black one went because now I'm kind of sad. I wanted to show you guys what it looked like. All right, so that is definitely missing. I'm gonna have to order some more because at some point I'm gonna need it again. I haven't used it in a while. I don't do calligraphy very often. I do them when I'm writing in a passion planner. When I have my passion planner, I will use them, or I will do it in journaling spreads. So not my journaling planner, like my journal, like my fun journal. You guys have seen me do videos in this before, but like my really fun decorative journal. So that's typically when I use these Kelly Create markers and what I use them for and why I like them, because they are a thinner size. All right, let's continue talking about Tombow since we're kind of on the subject. So these are my Tombow markers, okay? And I literally use them to highlight. You get so many different colors. I actually want to get some more, but I love how I can do this with them. I'm going to show you guys. Okay. And I'm doing like an array of colors just so you guys can get like an idea of what it looks like with all different colorways. Okay. And then I'm going to get my pen and I'm going to do it on my Muji because that's what I use the most. And I'm just going to show you guys what it looks like when you write on top of them. It doesn't matter how dark or light it is. Oh, I spelled that wrong. It pops every time. Like, it looks so crisp and so clean. I love the look of it. I also will use them to highlight over like the dates in the planners, the days of the week in the planners, the titles, things like that. I just love the Tombows for that. And they all have a thinner side. So if there's a week where I want to just do like an all pen spread, just goes to dentist. And then I can do like all different fun fonts with it. You know, maybe I'm going like this. Maybe I'm outlining these two words in pen. And you can also color with these. You guys know I love to color, and I use these for coloring sometimes as well. Not too often, but sometimes if I need a specific color. I just love the Tombows for these. I want to get more. I currently switch between these, my Mileliners, and my Crayola pens. However, I would really like to replace my Crayolas with my Tombows. I used to color with my Crayolas, but I don't anymore. So I don't really need my Crayolas anymore. I just keep them because I have so many different colors and I love having color options. So I would really like to like one day take all of my Crayola markers with me, and I'll show you guys really quick. I have like a whole case of them. It's insane. I really would like to take like all of these with me one day and compare them to Tombows and buy all the Tombow colors that I have here, because I just love having the variety. Speaking of Crayola, so this is what the Crayola ones look like. I tend to use these for like writing like sky, and then I'll take the tip and I'd go do appointment. So I get like a thick and a thin, but you can do the same thing with the Tombow because you have the brush point on the top and then a thin at the bottom. So like if I wanted to show you guys really quick, you can see it does the same thing. Might be a little bit thicker. Appointment. You know, so like it's actually kind of funny because the thicker one in the Tombow is the brush tip compared to Crayola, but then the Crayola tip is thicker than the tip in the Tombow. But you can get the same variation, and I just think Tombow is such a really good quality product. I just love it. So same thing here, I'm going to show you guys, and I chose one of the darker ones, but in case you guys want to see a different color option, I'll show you here too. Okay. The Crayolas, I tend to double up like that because they're not as thick. So it does create a little bit of an extra step for myself. It's not a big deal though. And again, we're going to take that Muji and we're just going to write over it. Okay, so for me personally, I feel like it stands out more with the Tombows, but it serves the same purpose. And like I said, the only reason why I'm still using those Crayolas right now is because I don't have a lot of color options in Tombow. Tombow pens are very expensive and Crayola is just cheaper. And so I've actually debated getting the massive Crayola pack. I think it has like 200 and something markers in it. I don't know. The really, really big one. And then just getting rid of the Tombows, just because they're so expensive, and I don't know if I'll ever be able to have the opportunity to really build up that collection. But I also feel like Crayola dies faster. So I don't know. Let me know down in the comments, you guys. Do you love Crayola? Do you feel like that they're a solid product compared to Tombow? Just because, like I said, you can do both of these ways of writing with it and they're cheaper? Or do you find that you'd rather invest in the Tombows because they'll last longer? Let me know. Let me know your thoughts on that. But I use both, again, the Tombow and the Crayolas for highlighting both my writing and in my boxes for coloring and making notating appointments, as well as highlighting like the days of the week and stuff like that. All right, let's move on to Mildliners. These are my other all-time favorites. I love Mildliners. They came in so many different colors, so many different types of ways. I have a ton of them like this. The reason why I love Mildliners is I feel like they're a little bit lighter and they have different colors that you can't necessarily find in either Tombow or Crayola. These are some of my pastel ones, but I love that they're a chiseled tip. And I not only use these for highlighting, but I also use them for writing in specific ways or creating checklists. I use them for highlighting in my journal, like my sleep tracker, and I use them to color in my mood tracking for the day. So I love the versatility of the Mildliners. They also have on the other side tips as well, so I can write with them if I want to as well. The only thing about the tips with the Mildliners is after a while they do get worn down. So that is my only qualm. So I don't use them as often. You can see they're all the same tip, but you can see how much thicker these two are compared to that one because these are more worn down than this one is. So that's really my only qualm with the Mildliners. So I don't use these to color. They're not for coloring at all. They're strictly just for highlighting and doing certain things in my journal and stuff like that. If you guys want to see what it looks like with the pen, they definitely do pop just like the Tombow, which I also love about Mildliner. With the Crayola, the marker from the Crayola tends to mute out the pen a little bit more compared to these two. So just gives you an example as to why I like variety, why I have different markers and highlighters for certain things, and why these are my go-tos, honestly. Finally, I want to talk about a product I picked up off Amazon. These are the Clean Color Dot Single Dot markers. I got these off Amazon when I was bullet journaling, and I didn't have like a ton of bullet journal stickers. I was like, I'm not going to invest in millions of little dot stickers. So I bought these, and you literally just press and they give you little dots for checklists. I don't have many colors in these. I literally only have 6. So that's the only thing. If I want more, I need to buy more. I don't use these very often unless I am kind of doing more of a functional spread. However, I do love them. I think they're really unique and they're an interesting thing to have if I ever want to use them. I don't really see myself ever getting rid of them because I just love the uniqueness of them and how they could really help in a bind. I bought like a basic color pack, green, blue, purple, pink, yellow, and this is like that orangey color. However, they do have a set that has a lot more in them. If this is something that you think you'll use like a lot, I would definitely recommend getting the bigger pack. I think that it'd probably suit you more. You'll have more color options if you're someone like me who likes to change up the theme in your planners. I would definitely recommend getting the bigger one. However, because I don't use these that often, I'm okay with just my small set for right now. If I ever want to invest in them again, I can get another small set. But for now, I'm happy with them. You can actually highlight with these as well, just to show you guys really quick. You can drag it. However, you can see when you start to drag it, it first starts like really thick. And then as you go across, it gets thinner. And that's really just because it wasn't meant for that. I mean, you can, even me pressing lightly, it still does that. So you could use it for highlighting, but it really doesn't look, you know, very nice. In my opinion, I think it looks kind of like sloppy. It's really just meant for dotting. You know what I mean? You can write with it if you want to, but again, it's going to give you that same really faded, funky effect. So I would not recommend highlighting or coloring or writing with these, but you can do it. The capability is there. Okay, so that is all of my highlighting and pens that I use for my actual planning. Now I want to quickly talk about my favorite coloring markers. This is my Arteza marker set of 100. So Arteza is a very established, well-known, expensive company that makes really nice markers, pens, highlighters, paint pens, all the things. And they also do like, I think they also have like journals and other paper stationery accessories too. I originally found out about Arteza through Planning with Bumble. She is a wonderful planner. She has a YouTube channel and she was with Happy Planner for a really, really long time. I'll link her channel down below for you guys if you want to check her out. But I love Planning with Bumble, and I found out about Arteza through her. I originally wanted to get the paint pen markers, so if there was ever a day that I wanted to do a sticker kit, but the colors of the stickers that I wanted to use didn't match my theme, you could actually take those paint pens and color over the colors in the sticker and change the color of the sticker. I never ended up buying them. I kind of got over that. However, when I dove into the world of coloring, physically coloring, I've been iPad coloring for a long time. Stay tuned for little shorts of those. I'm going to be incorporating those soon. But I digress. When I got into paper coloring, I was using just the Crayola markers. And then I had gotten a set from my mom from Michaels. And they worked for a little while, but they started going bad so quick. And I wasn't a huge fan of the colors that came with the set. Then I came across this one day and I put it on my Christmas list, and my amazing dad bought them for me as a Christmas gift, not this past year, but in 2023. And I've been using them ever since. I love them. I actually do use these sometimes for highlighting or drawing in my planners if there's a color I can't find. There is so many colors in this set. Now, like I said, Arteza is expensive. This particular set, I believe, was $80. They have a bigger one, but they also have smaller sets too for like 30 or 40. So if you wanted to start off small and get a smaller set, they have different themes. This is all on Amazon. They do have a website as well. If you want, you guys, I will link this specific product down in the description box, and then I will also link Arteza's website and the Amazon storefront for you too. So all three will be down in the description box so you guys can check everything out. Not all of the products that are on Amazon, not all of the products that are on their website are on Amazon. So keep that in mind too. This, however, was an Amazon purchase. And I'm going to show you all the colors it comes with. So these are the yellows and the grays and the blacks, like your neutrals. Then you have your purples and pinks, some reds too. Then you've got some more red, orange, and yellow. Then we have our greens and a couple fading into blues, and then the rest of our blues and greens here. I love these. Okay, so I'm just gonna take like the color out, and I'm gonna show you guys what it looks like. Actually, we'll grab this paper back. So these on one side are a thin brush tip. I'm just gonna like show you guys. Kind of reminds me of a Tombow, right? And then on the other side, oh, I got marker on the cover. Sorry, I'm really picky about these, you guys. And on the other side, it's a very thin pen, basically. And what I love, look how pigmented this is. They're so pigmented, you guys. I love them. So what I love about this is if I'm coloring and I need to outline something, so like say I wanted to color around this blue color, this lighter turquoisey color, I would take my pen, outline it, and then I would use it as a guide. Or, sorry, my hands are really shaky today. Or another thing that you could do is say you have like a picture, right? Let's say you have a picture of a smiley face, right? And I want to make it stand out in another color. And I'm going to take my pen, I'm going to draw around it, and then I can color over what I just did. Okay, that's really sloppy. Maybe a bad example. But when you have a full picture like this, it really, really pops. So this is one of my little mini coloring books that I got off TikTok Shop. And this is a picture that I did. I did not do any outlining here except for with the whiteout. However, I don't know if you guys can see, but in the window, I used one of my green Artezas, and I used the pen to make it look like grass or trees or something to stand out on top of the marker itself. And it just adds like an extra definition, but you can see it's still super pigmented. So I love these. I have full pages that I've done with these. They're just gorgeous markers. They really are worth the investment if you're someone who loves to color. These are awesome and fantastic for junk journaling, and you get so many different options. And on the back of the box, it actually lists every color in like what it looks like. I will say though, these are not very accurate. I don't know if it's because of the weight, like the material of the box, if it throws the pigmentation off, but they're not 100% accurate. I do use this to reference, but then I will test too before I actually go and color with it. So just keep that one thing in mind. I would definitely test the color before you go and like put it down in whatever you're using it for, just to make sure it's the shade that you want. Right now, I keep these in the case because I don't have any type of storage for these. You know, I will say though, I love the fact that I do have this quick reference. Like I said, I always test it first, but I do like to be able to grab this and be like, okay, what color do I kind of want to start with today? And I can go in, grab it, try it out. So in a way, I don't know if I would want to put these somewhere else, just because I don't have like a tester for it. But let me show you really quick. I know I'm getting off topic. This video is getting too long. Really quick, I did create a coloring marker journal for this reason. So if I want to go ahead and organize them, I can. And then I have this book. This is my marker index. and I'm going to show you guys. These are all of the Arteza markers that are in this box. So one thing that's great about it is this already has the color down. So like if it's not matching what's on the back of this box, I just grab this and I'll be like, okay, that's what it's going to look like. That's the color I need. And I literally went in and wrote what the name of the color was on each one. So when I pull these out, I know to look for what name to look for. And that is why I love doing this now. I've done it for every single one. These are my Tombos. I did start doing it for my Oahuhus. I'll show you guys those in a second, but I don't have a lot of them. The only thing is I wish I hadn't have done that because these bleed. So you can see that it came through on that. And then here are all of my Crayolas. They don't have names, so I didn't write names on them, but these are all my Crayola markers. Really, you know, if I don't feel that these are great for highlighting, but if I did, I probably would just get rid of my Crayolas too, but we love Crayola, right? Crayola is fine. Crayola is good. And then I wrote my numbers for my Tombos. So you can see like this is like a great quick reference. The only one I haven't done in this is my mile liners yet. I haven't put my mile liners in yet. This is what I want to talk to you guys about. So a little while ago, not that long ago, again, these will be linked below. A little while ago, I would say maybe like a few months ago, I ordered some markers for my daughter off TikTok shop. And these are them. And these are what they look like. I got these for, you can see they bleed as well. All alcohol markers will bleed through. So I actually didn't have a paper down when I started, and it got onto this one as well. Whereas the Oahuhus, I'm going to show you. Let's go back for a minute. These did bleed through on this page. However, they did not bleed over here. So I would not recommend these, because if you forget to put a paper down in your coloring, or if you're using them in your planner and you forget to put a paper in the back, you're going to screw yourself, because it's going to not only seep through this side, but it's going to go on to the next page too. However, I did want to show you guys how vibrant these are. There isn't even really a brand. Like, they're made in China, you know, and they're broad chisels. But I wanted you guys to see how pigmented these were compared to the Oahuhus. Like, crazy pigment. And like, even with the Tombos, they're more pigmented than that. And I would say they're pretty close to the Artezas. Now, I would definitely recommend Arteza over these, but that's probably the closest pigmentation I have seen. They're just really pigmented. So like, if there's a day, I probably would use these in my quick colorings, just because I can put a paper underneath and color it like really fast, and it'll create like a really vibrant, simple spread. But I don't see myself buying more of them. However, I did want to show you guys those as well. The Arteza markers are amazing. And honestly, I want to get more in a different color palettes. They have like, I think they have like a pastel one that I would really like to invest in. They're just perfect. They're so pretty. And I know a lot of people love the Oahuhus and the alcohol markers. And I think they're beautiful too. I do plan on getting some Oahuhus, like a full set, but I have these and I love them. And I think that they're not talked about enough, and more people should be investing in it. All right, you guys, well, that's going to do it for my pen and marker video. I hope you liked this video. I hope you found it really helpful. I've been wanting to do this video with you guys for a really long time, and I was like, I have to get this video done. I want to put it out to you. I feel really confident in it now. I didn't in the beginning. I was constantly changing my mind, didn't know what pens I liked. And every time I thought about making this video, I was like, no, I'm not sold. Like, I'm not sold on my current collection. And I didn't want to recommend things that I was just gonna change my mind on 5-6 months later. You know what I mean? But now I am fully confident and I'm comfortable in what I use and what I love, and I was ready to share it with y'all. So I hope you guys liked it. If you found it helpful, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Comment down below about the Tombos and Crayolas. I would love to get your opinion on those if you are another pen coloring person like myself. And we do a lot of, I'm going to be incorporating a lot more coloring content going forward into 2025. So if that's something that you guys are interested in and this is your first time watching, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I would love for you to join my channel. Do a little bit of everything over here with cozy, chaotic hobbies, being a mom and traveling and all of the things. So if that's something you're interested in, like I said, go ahead and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video, whatever that may be. I love y'all. Thank you for being here. Happy planning and stay magical. Bye.